I guess one of the topic that we wanted to discuss was just, I guess, our experiences growing up with either parents that were immigrants or being immigrants ourselves. Since I don't think that that's a lot of us experience it, but it's not something that's, I guess, discussed too openly, or it's not something that I've personally seen. So I guess maybe adding some perspective to the world.
Or sometimes as friends, I don't think we ever really talked about some of the struggles or a lot of the things that we've gone through,
Yeah, for sure.
um, either in high school, college, or even out here in the real world now. But
I
I
mean,
don't know.
because I don't think we realize that you're going through it until like you're in a better place in the world or in life, and you look back and you're just like, "Damn, that's kind of fucked up." Or I guess along those lines. But um, so I guess I'll start off. So my parents are originally from Mexico, from El Estado de Michoacan. So that's kind of my background. They immigrated to the states in the late '70s, early '80s, and now we're here.
What struggles did you face?
I was gonna,
What was
let-
what was
I
their
was gonna let y'all do y'all shit
what was
first.
their experience
What was their experience?
and yours growing up? I mean,
So my dad grew up like really poor. Uh, guess similar to a lot of people, his dad was an alcoholic, so he was never really there. My grandma was the one that had to provide. I think they had, including him, it was 8 or 9 of them.
Who your dad's dad?
Yeah, my dad's dad was an alcoholic, and then he had 8 or 9 siblings in a household where it was literally just my grandma providing. I don't know how she did it. I don't know like what she had to do, but she raised 9 kids, so I mean she had to be doing something. Um, and then he immigrated to Chicago. I think he was like 13 or 14, bro, which is crazy. Like he just came by himself.
yeah.
Like my grandma, I think it was like 3 grand. She paid a coyote, and then he crossed through California. So he walked across the desert. They stayed at a safe house somewhere in Cali for a few days, and then they put him on a flight to Chicago where his uncles were. That's how he got to Chicago. And then my mom's, her, she came when she was 18 after she finished high school. She grew up she didn't grow up poor like my dad did, but guess she was orphaned when she was little because both of her parents died before she was 8. So she got raised by her oldest sister. And then whenever she finished high school, that's when they were all like, there's really nothing here for us, so let's go ahead and get up and move. So I think the majority of her family also immigrated to Chicago, which is a hub for a lot of people that were from that area.
Well, that's kind of crazy. You say like your grandparents had a lot of kids, huh?
Yeah,
I,
then my dad had 8 or 9 siblings, and then my mom also had 8 or 9 siblings.
yeah, because it's similar to the same experience as me. Like, my dad's from El Salvador. Well, y'all know I'm half Salvadorian, but I claim U.S. only. You already know me.
USA. Yeah.
But yeah, my dad grew up without a father, basically, in his early childhood, and I guess it's just mistakes that people do. Sometimes they don't always include their children, and but basically, I don't know if it's like a generational curse or I hear that a lot of people talk about things like that, and that we're meant to break them as we grow older, as we progress in life. But my dad's like the youngest one out of all his brothers and sisters. Uh, and what led my dad to come to the United States is, first of all, he was poor. He didn't go to school at all. But there was a civil war that broke out in the 70s, 80s. So at the age of 12, my dad started going from city to city, just escaping the guerrilla warfare against the army. And it's because they would pick up these little kids and just give them a rifle and have them kill people. And so my dad, he was never a big fan of all that stuff, and he shared some, or maybe I would probably say less than 10 stories with me, just because of how he doesn't like talking about that. So it's kind of weird to talk about because I don't know much, and I'm sure it's something that my dad doesn't really like to talk about because it's a pretty hard life. But anyways, so at 16, my dad was able to make it to Houston and just start off his life there. So he came in 1984, and then for my mom, uh, she grew up really poor too. She's actually the oldest from my grandma's side, and basically same thing. Grew up poor. Had a pretty, I'll use the word shitty childhood, and she eventually had two kids in Honduras, and then she decided to immigrate for a better life, and eventually my parents ended up meeting each other, and then I was created. But that's basically a bit background. So both of them came out of necessity and wanting to progress in life, I guess. I would say.
Me?
Yeah, I think you probably have, like, out of all of us, the most unique perspective.
Well, my parents. Well, my dad. He was one out of 8, 4 guys, 4 girls. But my grandma had 16 pregnancies, and only 8 of them survived. My dad he's like a middle child. My grandpa was always a business owner. He was a smart guy, alcoholic, and he wasn't really a good father. He worked all his children as kids, right?
Yeah.
And but my dad had a pretty decent life. My grandpa made a really good living. And so growing up, my dad was an entrepreneur in Mexico, made a really good living. He was pretty wealthy. He exported agricultural products to the U.S., so he made a really good living. And my mom she was really poor. She's one out of 3. They're all girls. Mom and dad separated, divorced, abusive father, I guess. And my parents met. They met both of my parents are from Aguascalientes. And yeah, I mean, they came to 1995 out of necessity. But I mean, I don't really know much about my parents' background, to be honest.
Really? They don't talk about it? It's not something that they talk about?
Not really.
You think it's important to like know where you're from, or just sometimes it's just like, oh well, our parents don't want to talk about it and continue with our lives, or you think it should be more?
Personally, I think it's cool because we would always go back in the summers, like when I was a kid. So, and then getting to see like where your parents are from, and just like, damn, like this is where I'd be living had they not left. Because my parents are also from the same area, so it's just like, fuck, like the difference between the quality of life that people live here and like what I live over there, it's night and day. Like, not even close. Over there, like my biggest problem is I have to wake up for school. Over here, it's like I got the gas man driving through at 7 a.m. asking me if I want gas. Like, there's no hot water, or if you want drinking water, you either have to go to this, like, you can't. It's not that accessible. You drink the water in Mexico, if you're not used to it, your stomach's gonna get fucked up. You'd be shitting and throwing up for a couple of days. So I don't know. It's always pretty cool, like for me to look back and have that perspective of, what the difference in quality of life is between what I live and what potentially I could have lived had they not left. So that's why I always, like, the biggest gift that I think my parents could have ever given me wasn't like anything material. It was just immigrating. That's probably for me, like, the biggest thank you I have for them.
I think one thing people don't think about, or like kids, is, children of immigrants, is that sacrifice that, like, at least like my parents, for example, my mom barely got her residency. My dad doesn't have anything, but they came for a better life, leaving behind like their family.
Yeah.
It's like you leaving to another country and not seeing your family for basically the rest of your life.
For sure.
And that's something that I think we as kids don't really value or think about.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Well, it's crazy to see because, like, I mean, we grew up with a lot of people, like, in school that same backgrounds, but just by simply your actions, like, some people don't really appreciate everything that their parents gave through. And not meaning that, school is a priority or anything, but people don't take advantage of the opportunity we have.
Yeah.
Or I've seen it a lot in my family too, where, like, a lot of my cousins, like, they had struggles, but some of them took advantage of the struggles and worked harder, and some of them didn't, and they're stuck in different situations. And I feel like I feel like I'm stuck in certain situations too, because I don't know how appreciative I was until I I started seeing like how the real world worked. Like I didn't have to worry about buying or paying for anything at the house. But once I started working, I started seeing like, wow, it sucks working. Like, you know, uh, maybe working doesn't suck, but just having the responsibility of having to go to work and having to pay your bills and having your different things come up, and or it just simply sucks, you know, wanting to do something and you can't do it. So I wonder how much our parents gave up, or how many times they found themselves in that situation, and they had kids, and everything kind of just went from there.
Yeah. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I know for sure, like, my dad, whenever he immigrated, he was like, I'm going to go to the States, make some money, and then come back and either open a business or be able to do something for myself. But obviously, like, you come, life happens, you get married, you have kids, and this shit doesn't work out that way. So it's kind of interesting little perspective to see, like, what their intentions were compared to, like, how their life turned out.
All right, so we basically just spoke about our parents, but what about y'all? Like, y'all's experience or hardships that being Hispanic or stuff like that?
Man, well, I'm not the only child, nor I'm the oldest, but I did grow up as the only child. I remember, I guess just to share a little bit, you know, I grew up with a speech problem. I wasn't able to talk until I was 4 years old.
I didn't know.
So,
Really?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
I had speech delay. And then I guess as
Can I turn this off?
You're good.
it's up to you.
Sorry.
It's all good. No, but thinking about
Hey, low key, I feel like it's kind of tense. Like,
What?
I don't know. Like,
It's a therapy session, baby.
like to me, bro. Like, I don't speak about these things. And
yeah,
it's-
I don't think we've ever
It's
had
not
spoken to each
natural
other.
for me
Yeah.
to talk about this because to me, like, my story, I just keep it to myself.
We usually just bullshit. We'll have fun,
Yeah,
but like we don't
like-
ever talk about we'll talk about like day to day things, like, hey, how you doing, how you feeling,
Like your present day
yeah, but you don't ever talk about like
challenges or
maybe like past things you've been through in life or anything
this
like
is
that.
like deep shit.
It's
we're
a hard topic, you know. I think
mean-
right now when I was sharing about my dad, I'm like, man, like,
I didn't know about the Civil War, bro. Like, that's fucking crazy.
yeah, it's
Well, so do you know anything about the Civil War? Was it like the government?
He was completely talking about his fucking issue.
Hey,
Oh, I'm sorry, bro.
You're questioning
hey,
the
but,
Hey,
Civil War.
but this is the podcast life. You know, we talk about whatever happens.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Go with the flow.
It got a little too deep for me, bro. I got a little uncomfortable. I had to change the subject.
Bro, like, when I was talking about my parent, like, I don't
blanked
know
out.
what to say. Yeah.
No, so very quickly in El Salvador, I think it's like this in every single Latin American country, and thanks to the U.S. and Russia and the Cold War, basically you had your communists that were trying to make the regime into a communist country, and then you have your whichever United States, whoever they supported against the communists. So
Right.
at this point, it was the guerrillas that were backed by the communists, so Cuba, possibly Russia, I'm not too sure, backed the guerrillas, and then the United States backing the actual
The government.
the government. And so it was just both of them. That's really the reason why the whole war was there, and actually the people that suffered the most were the people from El Salvador. That's where you see like the MS-13. It wasn't born in El Salvador, but that's like a child of that situation there, and why El Salvador was such a crappy country for many years. And even now, like, they have a good president, but we don't know how long there might be stability or not. But yeah, so my dad grew up in, I think he was maybe like 8 or 10 years old whenever the war started.
Yeah.
And so once he turned 12, it's like either the guerrilla starts chasing you, or the government, you
It's
know,
crazy,
to
dude.
give you a rifle. What is it? What are they called? Like
the ARs.
Yeah, an AR,
AK.
and either, you know, they would tell kids like, oh, hey, we'll give you a little bicycle or something, and kids being so
Fuck.
poor, you know, it's so some crazy
crazy.
stuff. There's a really good movie. I don't know if y'all have ever seen it. It's called Voces Inocentes. It's in Spanish,
Sounds familiar.
but
It's about that.
it's a little kid and talks about his story.
I'll watch it.
I'll save that.
Yeah.
Voces Inocentes?
Yeah, and then I'll send a link later too. We'll attach it to the description as well. But it's a movie that just talks about the life in El Salvador, and I remember watching that movie with my family on a Sunday after church. I'm assuming, and I just remember crying like in tears because I saw the little kid in the movie like my dad.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
and the crazy part was like, hey, my dad didn't have a dad for him to depend on, and so I don't know, like if it's different situations, all of our actions have consequences. So hopefully, like as adults, we make the right ones. But to seeing where my dad has come and everything that he's progressed in life, it's like it's pretty awesome to see. Yeah. And my dad's not perfect at all. I won't ever say that, and I don't think any of our dads are.
For sure.
But man, it does take like a big. Maybe our dads don't accomplish everything they want in life, but just that big step for them to come to a country that they don't know about, the language, that was a big step.
Yeah.
And so that's the way I think about it, And going, I don't know if I have any questions about that, and not I'll go back to the story.
No, I mean, I think the only thing I'll add is, like, it's crazy to see, like, where they started to, like, where they finished. Even if they're not perfect or whatever, but, like, fuck. Like, coming to a country, you don't know the language, you're not familiar with the culture, like, you have very little to, like, no support. Then my dad was out here, mopping floors and sweeping 13, 14 years old to, like, going to where he went, being able to do what he did. Like, it's just crazy.
Adding to that, to saying where they started to where they're at now.
Yeah.
Does y'all's family or do y'all's parents have that? Because I think a lot of, at least Mexican parents, dads in particular, have that feeling or that belief that they started here, and because they started here, they want you to start here and go, not necessarily through what they went through, right? But you gotta start from where they start. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's necessarily like start where they start. I can only speak for myself because that was my experience. But my dad was always like, "This is where I started. This is where I am. Where I finish is where you start."
And that's how it should be. Yeah.
I built the foundation. Like, it's up to you to do whatever you want to do with your life.
But I think it's a wrong mentality to have, though, because I don't want to say like my parents ever verbally speak it to me, but they do have certain expectations.
My parents always did.
So it's like my dad would always tell me, like, whenever I was 8 years old, I was already working or 6, 7, I don't know. I was already working the fields at that age, and I told Dad, like, that's illegal here, like that's not possible.
But your parent or your dad kind of has that expectation of you start where I start. Is that what you're saying? He wants you to go through it in a way.
No, he just wants me to, like, not be a bum or not be someone that wastes opportunities that my dad never had. Like,
okay,
for example, my dad never had the opportunity to go to school.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want me to. I think my dad, as long as I finish school, so I'm hoping I do, not because of him, but because of myself too. I think if I finish my school, my dad will be the happiest man in the world.
That was, for me, like, the biggest motivating factor. I fucking hated school, but I was like, how fucked up of it would be for me to drop out. Like, all the that was always running in the back of my head. Like, all the sacrifices that my parents made. And the only thing that they ever really wanted for me was to be able to get an education, because my dad didn't go past 6th grade. Like, he had to start working. He had to start doing what he had to do. And then here I am bitching and moaning that I don't want to finish, when literally I have nothing else to do. So it's like, I was just telling myself, quit being a bitch, just graduate. And then whenever I graduated, like, my dad was so happy. So I was like, it was worth it.
Oh, we have videos of the celebration.
Dude, I popped a bottle of champagne and I busted it in my dad's face, and I was like, look, motherfucker, this is what you wanted, this is what you got.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember my dad wasn't going to go to my graduation.
Why?
We have a difficult relationship, dude. But that day, I left him a note, right? I think he still lived with me on 1960. And I left him a note talking about, I don't even remember what the note said. But I left because we had to be at your graduation early, so I left early.
Yeah.
And then he asked my mom, like, he shows her the letter, and he's like, what would you do? Would you go or not? And my mom's like, well, you know, it's your only son. Why would you not go? And he ended up going, but we didn't talk. I mean, we don't talk now either. So.
Yeah, it's just, I guess
It's kind of weird, bro. Like I didn't know like there was a kind of
Me and my dad.
interesting dynamic that you got there.
With my
Is it
dad?
because like he's proud, like he's too proud to like?
My dad, bro, man, I got a story, bro. Like, my dad, growing up, my dad was everything to me. He was my hero. I wanted to walk like him. I wanted to talk like him. I wanted to be him. You know, that's what my dad was to me.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid, and even then, like he was tough on me. That whole Hispanic thing, he'd hit me. He was hard. But I found out a lot of things when I was like 12 or 13. I found out a lot of things, and I mean, he did things that he shouldn't have done. So I kind of like disowned him. And I stopped talking to him. I hated him. And it's just stuff that like I've held on to for years. Like I've told him like I forgive him for everything he's done. And he's never apologized to me, but that's, to me, it's about me. Like, I forgive him, but I don't let go, you know? And it sucks because I want to let go. And, like, both of my parents complain that, like, I'm a bad son, right? And I feel, because to them, growing up, they always tell me, like, are you your parent, no matter if your mom was a whore, if your dad was a rapist or whatever, you have to respect your parents. That's their mentality.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I was raised different and I went through different shit, so I'll respect my parents.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to, like, if I don't feel the need to say I love you or hug you or stuff, I'm not going to do it. So, yeah. Me and my dad have a
interesting relationship.
It's a lot of, like, I could tell y'all off record, I could tell y'all my story, dude. But it's a lot of shit.
In a future episode, when Leo's more comfortable in front of the microphone, we're going to get it out of him.
No, I can't.
I'm fucking with you.
No, but, you know, I think I have that type of relationship with my mom. I want to say I love her, but sometimes I don't know if I truly mean it or not. And I think our parents just use the excuse that whenever they were younger or that they were treated.
My mom, like, last week or the week before, she told me that I'm the reason my family's, like, separated.
That's fucked up.
That is fucked up, dude.
So fucked up.
So that's tough.
That's very tough, Chief. Yeah, I have a really good relationship with both of my parents. Like, I can't, like, really relate to, like, y'all, because, I mean, my parents were always really loving and really caring. I mean, you do pick up on, like, certain things, like, when you're a kid, like, the one thing was my parents would always argue in front of us, and my dad always had, like, a really short temper, so it was just like, man, fuck. Like, when I grow up, like, the one thing I'm never going to do is either argue in front of my kids or, like, talk to whoever I'm with like that. Like, I'm not going to pop off. I'm not going to be crazy. Like, no matter what we do, like, we're going to argue behind closed doors. I'm not going to argue in front of my kids because that shit still sticks with me to this day.
Yeah.
So it's just, like, fucking never going to do that.
But do you think that's a result of, like, your parents' childhood? Or?
Well, for my dad, personally, I think it was just frustration. So my mom was always, like, she was a stay-at-home mom. She didn't work. He was always the breadwinner. So it's like he's 30 years old. He has 5 mouths to feed, a mortgage to pay, bills to pay on a single income. And he never really felt loved. I guess his mom maybe, but it was more like he was always providing for his mom. He's like, when he would help his mom go sell shit. Like, you know how you go to Mexico, you have kids selling stuff on the street?
I wouldn't know, bro.
That was my dad. Oh. Well, anywhere in Latin America you go, usually there's, like, if you go to a big city, there's kids selling, like, bubble gum, like little
kids
stuff.
selling flowers now all over the place here.
Yeah, so that
really
was always
crazy.
That's seeing it here in the States.
Yeah, that was always my dad. So it was just like, I think the temper came out of a frustration of never feeling like he had support. So then, kind of like what you were saying at the beginning was like breaking the cycle. It's like, I love you. I understand like probably why you acted that way, but it's like, it's my job to be a better version of you, or to be the best version of myself. So I was like, never going to do that in front of my kids or talk to whoever I'm with like that.
I mean, we don't have kids yet. I mean, I hope none of us do.
Allegedly.
Yeah, that's my thing too. I want.
Oh, so
That's
the
fake
following
wood right
episode
there,
is
bro.
brought to you by tequila,
I
because
wanna
it's always
be a good
delicious.
dad.
No, but wouldn't it be crazy like if we fall into that same cycle?
Hey, don't
I don't-
fucking say that, bro.
No,
I don't think so.
I'm just saying that it's something we should be.
I mean, we should always be aware of it.
We should be aware of it, like, because I'm sure my parents,
And see, I hate that, dude. Like,
because
I'm so similar to my dad.
yeah, without
Same,
thinking it,
but like,
I
you don't-
hate that.
you don't
I have
think about
short
it.
temper,
same.
impatient,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
But like,
damn.
sometimes like, I don't know if you do this because I do this. Like, I still idolize my dad. I'm like, because like of everything he's accomplished in life. But it's like, okay, like I can still be better than what, like, I can not better than you, but a better version of you, or to be the best version of myself. So like, I'll catch myself like losing my shit, and I'm just like, all right, I need to calm down.
I don't know about
How
you and
do
calm me
you do
down,
that?
or
How do I do what?
Like, catch yourself and calm down, because I don't chill.
hey, but on the
When I was younger,
Christian doesn't. I've never seen Christian calm down whenever he's off.
whenever
I
I'm
never
what?
seen him mad.
I saw him out in Vegas.
You were mad?
I just started talking shit. Like I was mad for a sec. Look, you get me mad. Like I have no filter. Like I'ma just tell. Like
When'd you get mad?
During the dinner.
bro, all they wanted to do was fucking eat. I swear to God, it's like I'm hungry. It's like, bitch, we just ate 2 hours ago. You how the fuck you hungry again?
Oh, so after like we left, when
And
y'all went
then
to do
we
y'all's
were in the hotel. This is a total side tangent, but we were in the hotel, and then he was like, I'm gonna stay in. And then Chris, I love you, Chris, but you was in your goddamn feelings. And he was like, oh, I'm gonna stay in too. And then fucking other Christian was like, I think he broke his budget for the day. He didn't want to say anything, so he was like, nah, I was just gonna go to sleep.
Pelon.
Pelon. And then Arnold was just like, I don't know. He was laying down. I was like, man, fuck all of y'all. Like
You went out alone?
I was
No.
going to. It was
The biggest loser that night, Arnold.
It was like 10:30, and I'm like, I did not.
It was not. It was not 10:30. At
Okay, it was like
10:30
11:30.
No, it was already 12. It was midnight already.
Okay, and bitch, like
I had
what the fuck?
woken up at 5 in the morning.
Okay, it was 12, and I'm just like, y'all just gonna go to sleep? Like I didn't pay
Hell
a
yeah.
flight, a hotel, to come to a different city to go to sleep. I can sleep at home. So I popped off, and I did pop off. Like I roasted them all each individually, like one by one. I was like, Arnold, that's why you look like this. Pelon, that's why you look like this. Chris, that's why you're in your fucking
Okay,
feelings.
is that something like your dad would do, or
No, my dad was like more like overtly just aggressive. But like
you were really aggressive that night?
yeah. But nah, like I try to like
So how do you calm down?
whenever I get mad.
Yeah.
Well, usually I'll catch myself before I start getting mad, but like I won't show it, but like in your head you're still like, man, fuck this dude, fuck whatever. Like I'm still going off in my head, but to me it's like you always look stupid if you get mad. Like there's no situation in which where you get mad and you start showing emotion that you win. You just you look weak and you look like you can't control your own emotions.
Does the gym like help you out with that? Like
For sure. It's like I'll be talking shit to myself when I'm in the gym. Like
Bitch.
yeah, for real. I'll be on the rib like you a bitch. That's why I also don't like working out with people. Like I'll work out with them and then they'll do a set and then I'm like, you still had like 2 or 3 in you. And they're like, no, I'm tired. I'm like, man, you a bitch. Like just keep going. And then but I like it when somebody has like the same mindset and like we're working out and like I can't go no more and they just start calling you like you a bitch, you this, you this, you this. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna fucking show you. Like, what's up? So it helps you channel your anger or inner aggression. So for me, that's why I love working out. It's just like it's a way to channel.
Because I think that's the way like some of our parents just like go, just they don't have an other.
They don't have
gateway.
hobbies. Like that's the
Yeah.
biggest problem. It's always just work. What do I have to do with the kids? What do I have to do to the house? So it's like at 25, I'm just like I kind of like I told you the other day. Like my biggest fear in life is to like feel stuck. I don't ever want to feel like I don't mind having a routine where it's like it's similar, but I always
keep
want to have a
moving
goal and feel like I'm reaching that goal. It's just,
So make sure to subscribe because our goal is to reach 100 subscribers soon.
we gonna pop off
To
Yeah.
the moon.
to the moon.
Do you ever feel like, I guess this is the last question I'll ask, but could you ever start a hobby to help out your parents? Like in the sense, like I've thought about taking not that my dad is the one that screams or whatever, but my dad's probably not like the healthiest because he has cholesterol, diabetes, but like starting like, hey dad, we should probably go walking or we should probably go for a run or go to the gym. Have you ever thought about anything like that? Maybe that could help give your dad a hobby without him knowing it's a hobby for a certain purpose.
I would, but my dad's gonna be talking shit the whole time.
No,
He's
but like anything, like it doesn't have to be the gym.
Just like,
or-
cabrón, yo no quiero hacer esto, da 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 da. It's just like,
Our
all
parents
right.
are old school, dude.
Like, all right, dude. I mean, he does have hobbies. Like, he'll get with my uncles and they'll play cards and stuff. They'll gamble for a little bit. He used to love playing soccer, but now he's old and can't do shit. He can, but like, he can't really run. So,
Or like taking them to a game or anything. You ever done that before?
I mean, well, I'll take him to. Well, when I was younger, he would take me sometimes. He's like, "Hey, you want to go? I got tickets."
No, but you take him.
I would, and I should, and that's a good idea. I would, and I should. Like, whenever the World Cup comes, like, we're gonna go to some games, and I'm gonna take him.
I
with
mean,
me.
Dynamo tickets are cheap.
But
You're
they
right.
suck.
I also don't get. He also doesn't like. My dad loved, like, this is where I get my shit talking. Like, I love to talk shit, and he loves to talk shit too. So since he used to play soccer, if I take him to a soccer game, he'll be like, they're not that good. Like, in my day, I could have played professionally. Like, this shit is just at the park. Like, these are professional MLS players, and he's just like, man, they could have caught me any day at the park. I would have whooped on all their asses. And I'm just like, all right, dude, that okay. Like, that's why you never went pro, right? Like, because you were that good.
Or maybe because he came to the States and started working hard. Or
Well, he still
He
played
had
in
no
the
choice,
States.
bro. He had to work.
My dad always got red cards because he bitch at the ref. I was like, that's why you didn't go pro. You couldn't control your shit. Ref calls a foul. He's trying to pop off on the ref. I'm just like, dude.
hey, it's crazy of like being self-aware and I guess just knowing the problem and being self-aware. Like,
It comes with age, though. Because whenever you're younger, you're just trying to have fun. You don't know. Like, you're not in tune with yourself. It takes, I guess, it does take a little bit of struggle, kind of like, I guess, what your dad was trying to instill in you to, like, develop character. But it doesn't need to be the same struggle that they went through because our lives are going to be completely different. We're never going to live through.
When they compare, when they're like, man, you're just like your dad. Man, fuck you. No, I'm not. I hate that.
but
No.
is there truth to it though? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not patient. I wouldn't say aggressive, but short-tempered. And I hate that.
Which is funny because you're always really chill when you're around us. Like, the only time
but when I'm mad, it's
the
different.
side note, the only time I ever see, if you ever get Leo drunk, it comes out. The demons,
does.
they seep through.
It does. That's why I don't like getting drunk. 'Cause
except for his birthday last year, he had a lot of fun that year.
that was fun, dude.
Like, there's a threshold, and then we zip past the
Broke it.
threshold.
Bro, I don't like being seen like that, dude. Fuck no.
It was just Leo at the back.
Shout out to our lawyer. He provided a bed for
Oh,
Leo.
you slept at Chris's
Yeah,
at
I
that,
stayed
right?
at Chris. I slept in his bed. And I think he slept on the couch.
That's hilarious.
Shout out to Chris to all the times he sleeps on the couch. for
Shout out
us.
to Chris for always providing a warm place to stay.
The Uber had to stop because I had to throw up.
I
don't
was
think
driving.
Oh, you stopped, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say we didn't get an Uber. He was driving his. You were throwing up in the back of his truck.
Yeah, you didn't throw up though.
You were
You
throwing
did
up in the
stop,
back
right?
of the
yeah, we stopped, but
Momobile.
you didn't throw up.
Oh, okay. I don't remember.
Oh, that's hilarious.
No, I threw up at the apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hey, I mean it happens.
It happens. I never knew that, like, you had a short temper.
Yeah, dude.
I guess you're asking me how to control it. I guess you figured out what works for you, and I guess I kind of figured out what works for
I
me.
still haven't.
So
Really?
what you just keep it all inside or?
I try. Yeah.
Kind of same. Like, in your head, you're still going.
But is that because like your dad was the same way or like that?
Oh, my
whenever,
dad was fucking explosive, dude. Like.
but you feel like that's why you have that short temper?
Yeah, for sure. And it's like I didn't necessarily have a good example on how to grow up and be a man, you know.
Yeah, I think whenever I met Leo, like you were going through a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of us never imagined. I remember a few conversations.
Bro, in
But
high school, we were living. It was just me and my mom at that time, and my sister. We were living off of like $1,000 a month.
It's crazy.
I don't even know how we paid the bills, but it was tough. I remember I had one pair of Vans. That's the only shoe I had. It's crazy.
But do you appreciate that struggle that you went through?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm thankful because before 2007 or 2008, my dad was real successful here too. Financially, he was really well off, and whenever that happened, I would say if my dad didn't go broke, I would have been like a spoiled little prick, you know. And because of that, like when he went bankrupt, my parents got divorced. I started moving a lot. I went to live with my mom. We got evicted. We went through a lot of shit, right? From 2007 to like 2015. But I started working when I was in 7th grade. So like that builds character. And
For sure.
I feel that completely changed my path in life. And it made me, I would say it made me a better person. It humbled me.
But were you open about that part of your life when you were in school? You think it would have made a difference if you would have been or would have not been?
What do you mean?
Like, did you ever share like what you were going through with anybody?
No.
No.
I'd never do.
Because I would have never known, like, unless you actually
Like,
said
I
something.
don't even think I've ever told y'all.
Well,
that. Like,
I know like bits and pieces. Like you would just make a comment like, "Yeah, I need to go to work after school,"
yeah.
or I do this on the side or whatever. And
Well, that's some crazy shit. But yeah. Whatever you remember me for when you met me, yeah, that was crazy.
yeah, I mean, I think ever since I met Leo, I kind of admired him in the sense because he would
For sure.
just talk about like, yeah, this or this. I mean, I don't think he would share everything, but he will make comments, and I don't know. I'm someone that picks up comments and, you know, just keep them in my head and
I'm just like my grandpa.
we're not sponsored yet.
I'm not sponsored yet, no. I did get the drinking gene though, because it takes a while to get drunk. So shout out,
me too.
shout out to that old man, because his liver definitely came down the bloodline, for sure.
But you think it would have made a difference if you would have been open about?
I don't know. I keep a lot of shit inside. Like, even like with my dad, I've kept all that inside, but it didn't do me well, you know.
Yeah.
Like, him leaving was because I felt that I couldn't be myself anymore, because I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do without being judged or shit like that. And it's not that like I'm doing bad stuff, because I'm not. But like even something as small as like I made my coffee in the morning and left the spoon, and he'd bitch at me, and I'm like, bro, first of all, this is my house, and I would never like put him down like that. But in my head, I'm like, it's my house, and you're living here, and I don't expect you to do anything, but I don't appreciate you coming at me for small stuff like that. I mean, it's superficial shit, but basically, essentially, I was, in a way, in my point of view, I was sacrificing myself, letting him live with me, trying to have a relationship that we didn't have, and for him, for his well-being, because he has nobody here. He's on his own, and so I was basically like, that's my dad. I have to take care of him, or at least let him have someone that cares.
Well, it's like the Hispanic mentality too, like where a lot of Hispanic people
Machismo.
like no, they think about like, oh, we have to take care of our parents, or
Well,
our parents expect us
and
to.
it's not necessarily that. To me, it was just the fact that like he's alone, and I feel bad because at the end of the day, that's still my dad. I may not have the relationship of a father and a son, but I still wanted to have something, you know. But in a way, I was sacrificing myself, because the resentment that I have towards him was eating me alive, like on the inside. Like me keeping it inside and like not telling him how I really felt was kicking my ass, right? So like now that he's gone, I feel better. I feel free. And in a way, it's motivating to me, because now like I feel that I could be the man that I really want to be without anybody telling me like, oh, you're wrong, or you're doing this. Because in a way, like, we've always had this problem where he does not take stuff from me. He does not take my advice, or he doesn't listen to me because he's the father, and I like have to bow down to him. And to me, it's like, you didn't raise me, you didn't give me anything that I needed when I needed it, and why am I gonna listen to you? Like, I've tried to do a business or something with him, for him, to help him out, and it's like, but follow my lead, you know? And it's like, no. So we always butted heads because of that. So, like, I came to the conclusion that me and him just can't do anything together because it's just a problem, you know?
But do you think like things will probably like get better now that y'all might have some space, or you're not thinking about that yet?
I haven't thought about, excuse me. I thought about, like, maybe now I could, like, talk to him or see him every now and then, but it's not something that I feel I need to do. Like,
You tried. It's up to him to try to reach out and make an effort.
I don't expect him to. I mean, it's just a complicated situation, but, and what I do think about is that maybe the day that he's no longer here, I'll probably regret it and feel bad for it. But for now, like, it's what's giving me peace. And I feel that, like I said, I could now be who I think I need to be and actually grow up on my own without being judged. Because, like, even small stuff like doing stuff around the house, like painting my house and finishing the restroom, now I'm actually motivated to do it. Because that's one thing about me. If you keep bitching, I'm not going to do it. Because I'm going to do it on my time when I say, because first of all, it's my house.
Yeah.
And, like, now that he's gone, like, I started deep cleaning my house. I already bought paint to start painting it this week, and just a bunch of random shit. I bought the floor that I need to fix. You know, shit like that. Like, now that he's gone, I feel that I could breathe.
Gotcha.
So,
It's great. Do you think it's like him pushing off his insecurities on you, or is
I
it
never
just
thought about that.
like
I don't know.
like him just holding on to his insecurities and it's like, you have to be better than me, so
'Cause-
I'm gonna push it off on you since I can't fix it myself?
Cause I'll tell you this. I texted him before he left. I texted him talking about how, like, how I want to be able to have a relationship with you, but I can't. You know, I can't do it not with you living here.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. You know, I can't let go of things. You judging me affects me. And I told him, you know, I'm not even half as bad as you were, is what I told him. But I hope that maybe one day we could have something. He didn't text me back.
Damn.
So it's like, you know,
Either being petty or he's too proud.
and he's a real proud person. I mean, I was, but I think I've gotten over that. And in a way, like, it shows with me initiating that, like, telling him that I can't at the moment, but I hope I can get over it. And being away from you can help me get over it. And maybe sometime in the future we could try. Because he does have a son. He has another son in Mexico. And he didn't abandon him, but the mom didn't let him see the kid. And she would tell him a bunch of mean shit about my dad, which was false. But, like, she would say that he doesn't care about him and blah, blah, blah. So the kid grew up with this hate, right?
Yeah.
And when my dad went to go look for him in 2002, the kid was like 20-something years old already. And my dad was really well off at that time. He's like, what do you need? A business, money, whatever you need, I'm here. I want to be in your life. And the kid basically told him, like, growing up is when I needed you. So now that you're here, I'm a grown man. I don't need anything from you. He's like, I don't hate you, but I just don't want you in my life. And then I made this comment that, like, he was probably luckier to not have him in his life because I had him and he hurt me more.
Damn.
That's some crazy shit. Like, bro, that's superficial. Like, my dad did a lot of shit. And what makes it harder is the fact that he was my idol.
Yeah. It's kind of like you realize Superman isn't Superman.
Yeah, basically. So It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in, and I guess it just stems back to everything like we said. Our parents probably didn't have the best childhoods, or maybe we don't know, we don't understand.
It's crazy though.
And is it something that y'all would talk to your children about, like your childhood?
About my parents?
No, like your childhood, like
I don't know,
because would a kid really appreciate everything you do if they didn't know, like, hey, like I didn't have a dad for a certain amount of my life, or
Well, see, I have my little sister who's kind of like my daughter, and she adores my dad. Like, my dad is her everything now, and like sometimes she asks, like she asked me the other day, she's like, "Are you gonna go visit Dad?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I don't even know where he lives, but maybe, I mean, what could I say?" And it's a difficult situation because she wasn't part of that life, part of that past, so she obviously has no idea.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna tell her. I'm not gonna if I see how much she loves my dad, I'm not gonna instill a bad image of him on her. So I just keep it inside, So
That's crazy.
I mean, I guess your kids, I tell my kids like the good, but I wouldn't necessarily tell them about the bad. I don't know. Never thought about.
I mean, I don't think I've never lived like any shit through like that, like Leo, but I don't think I really struggled a whole lot as a kid. I mean, being working class, like regular everyday, like whatever like a regular like American kid growing up goes through, like that's probably my struggle. But I think I would definitely tell them about like my grandparents, their grandparents, my parents,
just where they come
and then
from.
Yeah, where they come from, just to kind of help give them some perspective of like
The blessed.
Of like you actually like you're born into a very like blessed situation compared to what your grandparents and your great grandparents grew up to. It's like my grandma grew up in a fucking shed, like literally like a shed. So it's like, and then I would also like to, like, the day that I have kids, take them back to where my parents are from, just to kind of be like, this is the roots, like this is where it started. Yeah. So
that's crazy.
You live where you live now, but it was a process for you to get here. Even if the actions were taken before you were born, like this is you can trace it back.
Well, I don't know, like I think the same, but at the same time, I think the opposite in the sense that if I tell my kids, hey, do not cross the street, you would obviously tell them, like, hey, people have died, people have been ran over. Or, like, if I tell people, hey, or if I tell my kids, don't bully other kids, because kids are born with their own mind or mindset, whatever. And I would tell my kids, like, hey, I was bullied as a kid.
Well, that goes into, in Spanish is, nadie experimenta en cabeza ajena, that you're not going to listen till it happens to you. You tell a kid to not touch the stove because it's hot.
It's life experiences.
Yeah, that's experience.
Yeah.
And that's why, in a way, like, I'm grateful for all the struggles because I know those have made me better, and it's only setting me up for what's to come, in a way,
Yeah, and I guess my perspective comes, like, from the Bible, because I am Christian, even though I'm not 100% sometimes, but...
Everybody falls off the wagon, buddy.
But it's like the Bible says, a wise man learns from a fool's mistake, and like it's like a fool learns from their own mistakes. So it's kind of like you would expect your children to be wise, but then again, it's like who really has wisdom, or how do you instill wisdom into a child at an early age? I don't know. Like it's kind of hard to kind of, because you have all these books that teach kids about, or teach parents about parenting and everything, but how
it's all bullshit, helicopter parents type shit. Like, I don't ever want to, like, the day I have kids, like, I don't want to raise my kids in a bubble to where, like, life is, but, like, no, like, this shit is tough. Like, no matter what you do, like, you're going to struggle.
You gotta let them get hurt.
Yeah, like, you gotta, like, I feel like you gotta let them fall on their ass, and you just gotta watch them.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's kind of what, like, my parents did. Like, you're going to fuck up. Like, if you need help, we'll be here.
And that's how it should be. I mean,
and then just kind of taking their life into perspective and kind of trying to make sense of it and how that applies to you and your life. At the very least, be grateful for the situation that you're in. Even if you don't have much, just like you're still blessed.
Yeah, it's really crazy to think about. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, we were talking about earlier,
I do have a question for you, though.
You want to ask?
Or you want to finish your statement?
Yeah, I'll finish it really quickly. It was just about how my parents being immigrants, how it affected me. Going back to that question that Leo asked, kind of going back to the subject, and it's like I was bullied as a kid because I had speech delay as a little. I think at I don't know what 4 or 5 years old I learned how to 4 years old I learned how to speak.
Did you have to go to like a specialist or anything, or?
Yeah, I think Aldine offered like a program, and I would visit a speech diagnostic and speech therapy and all that stuff. But essentially, what I had is that I had a piece of my tongue removed whenever I was a kid, so it was like overextended.
Got you.
So I couldn't pronounce everything correctly, and so having that, and then everything was kind of a ESL, and then it was like I had to do homework in English, but my parents didn't know English, so it was like
That was another question I wanted to ask. But continue.
yeah, so it's like you have to kind of like figure it out, like you don't know what's wrong with you. And I think the first time I realized I had a problem with my speech was like in the 4th grade, whenever my teacher couldn't understand everything I would say. And then eventually I started getting bullied as I became going from like 10 to 12. And that created a lot of like self-doubt, insecurities. So like not knowing everything in English, a funny story is I didn't, and as a little kid, I didn't know the difference between accidentally and purposely. And so,
Bro, they're complete opposites.
Bro, one starts with the A, one starts with the P.
so I didn't know what they were.
Yeah.
And I remember, I'll say his name. The kid's name was Raphael. We were in 1st grade, and I remember he took my eraser. So they gave everybody a pencil and an eraser. He took mine. Mine was blue. I think his was pink. So that's the whole little fight there. And I accidentally stabbed him with my pencil.
Oh shit!
But whenever I got in trouble because of it, or whenever I got called out, they asked me, "Why did you do it accidentally, or purposely?" I didn't know the difference.
You incriminated yourself.
And I said purposely. And I remember getting like written up or whatever. I don't think it was a big deal because it's like a little pencil mark or whatever. But I guess the intent,
yeah.
and it was purpose on purpose. But I remember like taking the not the report card, the write up or whatever to home, and I remember grabbing one of my mom's old IDs and copying her signature, and I got in a lot of trouble. So I eventually told my mom, like, I didn't mean it, like in Spanish, of course, like I didn't mean to do it on purpose. So my mom went up to the school, she took care of the whole situation, but it's just like little struggles like that are now funny, but at the time it was
They
like
stick with you though.
it's
they
like
definitely
it's like
stick
what
with
the
you.
heck, like I have a lot of people I know in Mexico or people that I talk to just our communication is in Spanish, like one-on-one Spanish, and they tell me like, man, like, yeah, it's so cool because you know Spanish and you know English and you could speak them very well. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't know the struggles I've gone through sometimes. 'Cause I don't know how to say certain things in Spanish or how to put a sentence in Spanish, and same thing in English.
Dude, I still struggle.
And it's like, no, I don't believe you. Like, you grew up in English. I'm like, dude, I grew up in ESL in the 4th grade. I moved over to like regular classes.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't know the language. Like, it's like you grow up with the like Spanish at home, which isn't like really the best Spanish, because my parents are from the campo. Like,
Yeah, like they went to school like up until the 6th grade.
my
Like,
parents didn't go to school.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't have my mom's really good in Spanish, but I'm like, I don't have like my Spanish really grew more was actually my 7th grade Spanish teacher, she hated me.
Why?
I sucked at Spanish. It's so bad.
Really?
And so in high school, that's whenever and watching novelas with my grandma. Shout out.
Watching novelas.
Shout out to my grandma now in heaven.
That's why we're so dramatic to this day.
We're drama
Hey,
queens.
that's why we're drama queens.
That's
Maybe
how-
we
that's
grew up on novelas.
That's how we learn how to be toxic.
Yes, sir.
No,
That's where it comes
but that's where I learned my Spanish, and English. It's just like you talk to your friends, but I don't know all these big book words. I'm not a big book guy. I used to have a friend that she loved to read books, and she would use some words, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Orlando, you need to pick up your vocabulary. Like,
For sure.
I'm like, what the heck? So I think those are some of the struggles that I've kind of like, they're in me today. And I'm just like, whoops.
Yeah. that was actually going to be my next question was, how did y'all learn how to speak English? Because obviously we grew up with either Mexican or Salvadorian and Honduran parents. So obviously when we go home, we speak Spanish. But when we're out in the real world, like, we have to speak English.
So I think I learned how to speak English first.
You learn how to speak English
Yeah.
first?
Spanish?
I understood Spanish, but since I didn't know how to speak, I think I learned English first.
Like, do you remember, like... I mean,
No.
obviously we were little, so you don't
on
remember.
the cool, I was like in pre-K. Yeah, I was in pre-K, so I think that's whenever I started learning how to. I have a lot of I have few memories, but they're kind of scattered.
Gotcha.
Like
I
in
still
pre.
have my diary, my pre-K diary.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You had a diary in pre-K?
Like, yeah, we had a daily, like, journal that we
Oh,
would
shoot.
write about a topic.
Hoy
and-
nomás me tocó una galleta, estoy triste.
No, funny. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
You're good, you're good.
but, we had to draw a little picture.
But do you still have memories of that?
Yeah, we had to draw a little picture and write a paragraph about whatever, right? And what's cool as shit is that my dreams today, my goals and shit, are in that journal.
Oh,
About
wow.
how me wanting to be successful, me wanting to, that is in there. So that's actually, like, pretty badass to have.
Oh shoot!
It's cool as fuck.
No, we didn't do that.
Yeah, I wasn't that special. No.
Anyways,
I was just gonna ask you, when did you learn how to speak English?
just school. I mean, yeah, I was in ESL too.
Did you know how to speak English before you started, like, pre-K or kindergarten, or was it all Spanish up to that
it was
point?
all in school.
No,
yeah.
you know what? Quick shout out to PBS. You watched
what?
PBS as a kid?
Caillou, bro? No, Sawa.
No, I remember.
Bumafu.
Yeah.
Sabumafu, yes sir.
That,
Yes,
I
sir.
think that's another factor I learned English.
Tarzan.
Tarzan, Caillou.
That's how I learned how to speak English. Was through
In
cartoons.
Spanish, we would get like in trouble if we spoke English at home. So we always had to speak Spanish at home.
At your house?
Yeah,
Oh,
Really?
shoot.
yeah. Because my dad didn't want us to be like Yo no Sabo kids, so we would get in trouble if he heard us speak.
Mine was actually the opposite. So my dad was trying to get better at speaking English. So to this day, I still speak to my dad in English for the most part. And
That's really weird.
He'll respond to me in Spanish. And then with my mom, it's all Spanish. But we always spoke to my dad in English because he was always like, speak to me in English so, like, I
Does
can
he
get
speak
better.
well?
Yeah, I mean, he has an accent, but it's always funny. Like, even when we were little, like, I remember him, like, reading a dictionary, just, like, reading through it and, like, rewriting words and what they meant and stuff. And I would always ask him, like, what are you doing? He was like, I got to learn. Like, this is how I learn.
Shoot.
That's cool. Like, that's actually putting in effort.
Hey,
Yeah.
but you know what's funny? Like last time, Christian and his dad picked me up from my house to go to the airport,
Yeah.
and so I was talking to Christian in English, like, "Oh, I don't think his dad is gonna pick up on everything I'm saying," and all I hear is his dad laughing at my
Yeah,
my
like,
nonsense.
my dad, like, he's it's actually gotten a little bit worse, like, as he gotten older, because I don't think he has to use it as much. But he speaks pretty good English. I mean, he
Yeah,
has an
that's
accent,
cool.
but he can read, write, and speak it.
No, my parents always throw like, "Oh, we don't know English."
My mom doesn't know
When
English
we're
at
at the
all.
house, like, I'm like, I go to your job and you're speaking English.
Yeah, no, my mom doesn't speak English at all.
Hey, by any chance, off topic, never mind. Because I have to say names. It's nothing bad, but I wanted to see if your mom or if your parents knew someone that worked at Walmart.
Oh, we could talk about it later.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah. So you learned how to speak English in school,
Yeah, I did.
and then you learned how to speak English through, like, cartoons and stuff.
Yeah, I remember watching Teletubbies as a little
Oh,
kid.
bro, I love that.
Fucking Sesame Street, bro.
I would get scared whenever the sun would come out.
Baby. I love the pink one, but then they told me he was a little weird.
Oh.
So I started liking the red one.
And then Clifford.
Dude, Clifford.
Clifford.
Yeah, I didn't have cable growing up, so PBS was the shit.
Yeah.
Like, PBS and Saturday morning cartoons like Yu-Gi-Oh,
Yeah,
Pokemon,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Teen Titans.
Teen Titans.
Oh, you remember the Jackie Chan show?
Bro,
cartoons.
yes. I had to watch. That's where the watch addiction started.
Oh shoot!
I had a Jackie Chan watch, and then I broke it.
That
It
was a
broke my
good
heart.
show.
Jackie.
Man,
Did y'all ever watch George Shrinks?
yes.
That was a good
on
show.
PBS. Yeah.
I love that.
I don't think I
show.
remember watching that.
So that was a little kid. He was like a tiny kid, but he was super like a Elon Musk, I guess, smart.
Yeah.
So he made his little, what was it, like a little helicopter,
The little it was like a helicopter that went
like
underwater.
car
and
or whatever.
stuff. Yeah.
Dude, the Magic School Bus.
Yes.
Talking about,
Yeah, I always
In
liked
school-
it.
in
It would
school?
always go, bro. That's why I became an astronaut. And for those of you who don't know, I'm an astronaut.
The backyard again.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes.
Man,
We
like,
cannot confirm nor deny that statement is true.
hey, on the cool, like there was like some really good shows as a little kid. Like I'm not.
Cartoons now suck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't.
I always think it's funny, like
I think it started off with SpongeBob. Like after that started sucking.
like y'all started off in ESL, right? So my mom wanted me to be in, I guess, ESL because my Spanish sucked. Like it just sucked because I would watch cartoons in English, and so I learned how to speak English more than I learned how to speak Spanish. So whenever you go, they make you take the little test, like like they show you a picture and they're like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "It's corn." What is this? Like, it's a carrot. And then I come out and they're like, "Oh, he's gonna be in the English class. He's not gonna be in the Spanish class." And like, my mom got mad as fuck. I'm like, "Why are you mad?" But it's just because she wanted me to learn how to, I guess, be able to communicate in Spanish, which, to be honest, I didn't get good at until I was older.
So what do you rate like your Spanish, like from 10?
My reading and writing is shit. Like 100% honest.
Really?
Like I can read it, but writing, woo, I don't know where the accent marks go, bro.
Hey, shout out to all the phones that have Spanish.
Shout out Google Translate, because every time, like, I'm not gonna lie, this is completely off topic, but if I get a text message that says ja 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 and it's repeated with a text in Spanish, I'm not responding. That's too much effort.
No
That's
JAs.
no JAs. Like if it says ja 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 instead of ha ha, deuces, shoddy. I hope you have a wonderful life. That's too much work. I gotta think about that too much.
Oh my god!
But
So your speaking levels. What do you?
I think I'm pretty good at speaking. Like I can communicate in Spanish pretty well. Like even if I have to communicate with like, I guess like a professional voice, I can. It's a little bit more difficult than just speaking like regular everyday conversation.
Dang, I judge myself. I say my English is like a 7 out of 10,
Your English,
and then my
You're like-
Spanish is like a 5 out of 10.
you're like my dad, ni de allá ni de acá, pendejo de los dos lados.
Hey, but I'm American though.
Yes sir,
American.
yes sir.
My birth certificate says America.
Is it? Don't you think that's crazy though? Like the simple fact that we're American citizens, just because you're born here. Like you think about it, like all the shit that's going on in the world, like people trying to cross, and you're just like, fuck, like I got lucky.
Yeah, I mean,
Like the simple fact that I was born in a hospital here, they give me a social security number, they give me a birth certificate that says born in America.
well, that's what a lot of people like that live in the border do. They just cross, have the child, and go back.
Yeah, I know.
Shout out to all of our people from 956 area.
Yeah. Also, not to get like too political, but I think that's a little crazy. Like, I can understand people being upset, like with people who come illegally as adults, but I think it's really fucked up to hold children accountable for decisions that they didn't make.
Well, I don't
Like-
know that's why you have like politicians that are trying to get like if your parents don't live in the States or if your parents don't have papers, which I don't technically agree because the Constitution says if you're born in
If you're
in
born
the
on
States.
U.S. soil or born to U.S. parents, either or, you're an American citizen.
Yeah, so yeah, but let's not get political today because I'm having a pretty good Sunday.
Okay, you're
Let's
right.
not ruin
I
it.
just shout out to all the kids out there.
Hey, prayers
But-
to everybody.
The other question that I had was, I always thought this was funny growing up, was my dad, I don't know if it's machismo or whatever you want to call it, but it's like, don't cry, crying's for girls. Like, whatever, like, if there was a negative trait, they would always associate it with being a woman or being a girl. Like, don't chew gum with your mouth open, only girls do that. Don't chew gum, like, only girls do that. Like, you do that, your balls are going to fall off. Like, as a little fucking kid.
I
My
had
dad-
that a bit, but I don't remember. Too
Like, I always remember that stuck with me. I was like, damn, like,
Yeah, when I'd cry, my dad would be like, "No seas joto." Pareces vieja.
that was always the one.
Hey,
Like,
YouTube, we don't condone anything we're saying.
it's already canceled, baby. We good. Yeah, like eso solo es para las mujeres, or no seas una niña, no te comportes como niña.
Did that ever affect you as a kid?
Well,
I think low key, like even if we don't like acknowledge it, I think that's probably why it's harder to like show emotion.
yeah, exactly.
You're just like, you just hold it in because like if I show emotion, I'm gonna look like a bitch. So I'm just gonna hold it in.
It's funny because my dad would complain that, like, obviously his dad never showed emotion towards him.
Yeah.
And he's like, now that I'm a dad, I wish my son would show emotion to me. But I'm like, how do you want me to show emotion? Like, I'm cold. I can't.
Yeah.
Like, even with my mom, like I'm not a hug type guy or I love you. I mean, I'll say I love you every time I hang up the phone, but it's not like I'm not just gonna randomly go show emotion.
That's still 50-50 for me. Even with my mom, like my mom won't even say it sometimes,
Really?
which is kind of crazy. Yeah.
But is that the same like with your past, like your previous relationships, like or your current relationship? Like, do you struggle with them? Because
For sure.
I feel like
I
I struggle
have.
with my parents, but with like the current people, I don't mind like hugging them or whatever.
Me hugging and all that, like I'm fine with.
What's that
What I
song?
struggle
That
with
all that
is,
lovey
like-
dovey shit.
Yeah, like that I could do that. But even then, like, I guess I do kind of struggle now I think about it.
I think I'm the same way. Like all the touchy feely stuff, I'm down. Like I'm 100% there. Like I'll show emotion like by touching them, like showing,
some cochinos,
showing
but
not even in a sexual way, dude. Just show like just touching them, like showing appreciation. But then when it comes to like communicating it verbally, I'm just like, yeah, you said what? Okay. They just try to beat around the bush. Just you start feeling uncomfortable once they start showing like talking to you like in emotional terms.
Or
You're
even
just
like buying flowers and stuff like that. I guess I do kind of struggle with.
You have to
Like
make
going out, not
out of your
necessarily
way.
going out of your way, but
you have to make a conscious decision. Just
Yeah.
like this is what I'm gonna do. Like it doesn't. It's not natural. Like I should go buy her flowers.
hey, the one girl I did all that for broke my
she
heart.
canceled you, bro.
Shit. As
Tough.
as the boys have a saying, pay it to the game. Pay it to the game, baby.
No, but yeah, I do find that crazy though. Like showing your emotions and expressions, and like I think I'm really like loving towards my baby brother, because I'm like, Daniel, come give me a hug, or I'm like, Daniel, tell me you love me, or you know, I'm like forcing them or whatever. But yeah, I think it's maybe a 25%. Like I do show my emotions, and then I think, but honestly, this is like our first real conversation, like probably in a while.
Who?
Like
Us?
all of us, yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
together at least. I mean, I think I've shared some of my like stuff with you or with Guzman privately, but
Damn, Chris missed a good one.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
He probably had good
I feel like he probably would have had some good shit
Yeah.
too, because I feel like he's out of all of us, he's probably the most in tune with his emotions, and he's.
And he's
I
close
always
to his
appreciate the
parents,
fact
too.
that he's willing to share it. Like he doesn't hold it in. Like he's like, this is how I feel.
Yeah,
This is what it is.
y'all ever considered therapy? I have.
Therapy.
I probably needed it or need it. I don't know, but I've always thought that this is just me, and I am wrong for saying it, but I feel that if I can't control myself, then like
I don't think any of my issues really stemmed from my parents. It's just more like I see in them what I like and I see in them what I don't like. I can differentiate. I think like my own issues came from my own
your own doing.
my own lifestyle, my own doing. But I don't
But
think
lately I have considered it more.
I think that's why I picked up reading. I think that's something that's helped definitely a shitload, a lot.
Actually, that's something I want to do so bad, like read, but I just
Me too.
I'm too lazy. Like,
Yeah.
I can't get myself to. Just,
It's cool. Like you
hey,
get
but is audiobooks really reading though?
okay. So I don't read. I do audiobooks, and apparently Orlando thinks that that's not really reading. But as long as I get the information,
I
think I'm
do
okay.
that, but actually opening a book and reading it, I can't.
Hey, maybe we should start a book club in the future.
I'm gonna have y'all reading all Russian literature, baby. All Russian.
Hey, but I mean, I think you said it like you really enjoy Russian art.
Because it's this is completely off topic, but I feel like I can relate to it more. Like it's like American culture is usually very optimistic. Like there's always a happy ending. There's always closure. There's always like here's the good guy. Here's some adversity. Here's how they overcome it. Happy ending. Russian literature, because I mean, if you look at the history of Russia, it's like
Tragic.
it's just fucking tragic over tragic. So it's very pessimistic. So it's like, here's a person, here's what happened. Here's a person, here's what happened. It's like it's up to you to like be able to
real.
like.
But no wonder you wake
Read
up
between
every
the
day and choose violence, huh?
I'm usually pretty peaceful. I only choose violence with Christian, only Pelon, because he be choosing violence. He wakes up and he just pops off at 6 a.m. It's like, all right, I can match that energy. But nah, I don't think I would ever do therapy. I think I'm good. All the issues that I face as a person have been through my own problems or my own life decisions. which we could talk about on a later podcast.
I'm sure we have our quite a bit, but yeah, it's just crazy to think about how much just being a child of an immigrant or immigrants, because both of our parents, all of our parents are immigrants.
I have one last question though. I don't know if you were trying to close or not.
No,
but so like y'all know, like my grandpa's an alcoholic, your grandpa's an alcoholic. I don't know if any of your grandparents were alcoholics.
I don't know.
So are we?
Well, you know,
we
you
were
know
functioning
what?
though.
You know what? Well, he's my step grandpa from
My
my
dad
mom's
was
side.
an alcoholic too. I don't know if I said that.
But I don't think no. But like my step grandpa from my mom's side, he shows me a lot of love whenever he's drunk. I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
like it's not that toxic.
He's the happy like.
I'm like grandpa. Let me come get you another beer.
But I have a question. Like, this is something like I've tried to think through in my head because a lot of my dad's brothers also had like alcohol problems, and then my grandpa obviously. What do y'all think causes that? Like, do you think that's because it's not only like obviously that's an issue in the U.S. and the States and like developed nations, but like I think that's really something that's like exasperated or very common in Latin American countries.
Well, my grandpa owned the best bar to start off with. So, and then my dad and his brothers they'd go in, break in, steal shit for them, and they'd work there.
Yeah.
And they'd drink. So I guess that's how the habit started. They liked partying. They liked having a good time.
But there's a difference between drinking to have fun,
yeah,
and then drinking
Just
to, I
to
guess,
drink.
feel something.
No, but all drinking does start with just social drinking.
But
there's a certain switch in your head that has to go that allows you to dive off the deep end.
So out of my 4 uncles, or my dad and his 3 brothers, one of them doesn't drink. He's the oldest. My dad used to be an alcoholic, and I think it started with social drinking. But once he got over here, I think it was like the problems,
So he turned to what?
Yeah, so he would just drink just to drink, and then he'd go out with his friends and not come back for days, shit like that.
Yeah.
But it was just to be away from the house, from the family. So that was him. My other uncle just drinks just to drink. He's an alcoholic, but he's just a natural functioning alcoholic. He just drinks all the time.
He's just chilling.
Yeah, basically. And then my other uncle, he's the one that he has to go to like rehab all the time, and they don't let him out. But what made it worse was the fact that
I'm locked up.
One of his sons hung himself.
Ooh.
And his twin brother found him, and it was at a house that my uncle was building. So they didn't even finish that house, and when that happened, his brother, the one that survived him, became a drug addict, and my uncle just lost his shit. Even that happened when we were like sophomores, and even to this day, like it's crazy. So that's what made him an alcoholic.
But are those uncles in the States or
No, they're in Mexico. My dad's the only one here out of the guys.
That's crazy. I've thought about it. I think because like I said, like my grandpa's an alcoholic, and then a lot of my dad's brothers were alcoholics. So I think it's like if you see no other option in life, like and you're that depressed, like what do you do? Like is it a function of
Drink?
Yeah, just drink. Like is it a function of like there's nothing else you can do with your life, so you might as well just drink it away?
Well, but it's
or
just
is it,
alcohol puts you in a certain place where you kind of like it. So I guess it's like, whenever people do drugs, they're chasing that first high again. So I don't know. It's possible like the same feeling like with alcohol, because like man, if you're having
alcohol's a good time, bro.
It's like you socialize and all that, and that's how like all the beer companies commercialize it. It's like even Bad Bunny in that commercial. He's like, you want to have a good time, then just open up one.
That's crazy.
That's true, but like you have to have like a certain something in your head that's like drinking to have fun. It's just like I'm just gonna drink just to drink. Like I don't know about y'all, but like I don't drink by myself. I don't know too many people who like drink by like maybe if you get off of work you can have one, but like nobody drinks just to get fucked up like on a regular night basis.
That's crazy.
No, but
and a lot of people do that. Like one of our foremans, every day, he'll just drink on his own. He doesn't go out and party. And first of all, because he doesn't want to get in trouble because he knows he's going to get drunk. But he just blasts his music and drinks on his own. And that's a good time for him. And I'm like, that's crazy. I mean,
that's a habit.
It's
like
a
that's
habit, and
it's a habit.
it's being an alcoholic, I
Yeah.
think. I don't know.
It's crazy though. Like I don't know. I feel like that's just something that's like very predominant against like.
But it's like
again, in our community.
But
I
you don't
guess.
have to be an alcoholic to get a DWI, or you don't have to be an
No.
alcoholic to kill somebody while you're driving.
No,
So-
definitely not.
So it's like, you know, I don't think. Like
Big shout out to Uber. Big shout out to Uber, dude.
or taxes. I mean, I don't know.
Taxis, Uber, Lyft, fucking DDs, whoever's driving home that night. Shout out to you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like as far as my family, like my dad used to social drink. There is a story that I know. I think I kind of found out on my own, but after we became Christian or whatnot, we converted from whatever we were to Christian. My dad eventually gave up on alcohol or just beer.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just because at the end of the day, does it truly bring anything
That's true.
special to your life that you can't have on your own? And I guess that the answer is different for everybody. But as far as like in my family, like I've seen some of my cousins like just lose their life in alcohol. So that's kind of my example to like, whenever I was depressed, I didn't turn into alcohol. I actually gave it up. Like I'm not gonna, just because I'm mad or I'm depressed or whatever. I didn't
Make it
drink.
worse.
Yeah, because it's like alcohol at the end of the day, it's a depressant.
Yeah.
And it's like it just puts you in a worse place.
I think we're all responsible enough to know that it's just a good time for us.
Yeah. That is the one thing though I catch shit from my parents from though, is drinking, because neither one of my parents drinks.
What?
Yeah. I've never seen my dad have more than 2 beers in my life.
Well, until now, I've never publicly admitted of it.
What? Oh, to drinking.
Yeah, I mean, my parents asked me. I've lied to them. You know, I don't.
What?
But I'm sure they know the truth.
Yeah.
Um,
They don't speak English. Allegedly, it's okay.
they don't understand.
It's okay.
I'm sure they found the bottle of whiskeys I've had in my car in the
I
past.
remember one time I was 16. Yeah, I was 16, right? And I was working in construction. And we finished early. It was a Friday. No, that was a different day. This was like on a Wednesday. And keep in mind, the owner was a functioning alcoholic. That man would get hammered and wake up at 6 in the morning the next day, go to work. And all the time he was just drinking. And this one day, we went to go dump trash at the landfill because we finished the job. We want to go throw it away and empty the trailers. Finished early. Point is, we went back to the shop and they brought some beer. It was me, the owner, and one of the workers. So I think it was like a 12-pack. They were grown men, right? I was 16 years old, but I was just trying to keep up with them. We finished the 12-pack, and then they're like, so y'all want to go eat, or should we bring some more? I was hoping they'd say, let's go eat, and then we get to go home. Well, this guy brought more beer and snacks, and we finished another 12-pack, and then we went to his house, to the owner's house, and drinking more there. I blacked out. Like, I got fucking hammered at 16. And then one of the guys, he was hammered too. He was like 23 at the time, right? He drove me home. And whenever I got home, my dad's outside smoking. And I'm like, what's up, Dad? And I just walk inside. He noticed me right off the bat when I got there. And then he didn't say nothing. And then when I walk inside the house, my mom was talking to some lady. I gave my mom a kiss, say hi to the lady, and I just passed out on the couch in the living room. And then out of nowhere, I just start throwing up. And my mom's over here panicking, like, what's going on? Let's take him to the hospital, something. You know, she had no idea. My dad's like, just leave him alone. He's fucking hammered. And, I mean, I never drink in front of my mom. She knows I drink, but she doesn't know, like, I get drunk or party and shit like that. She just knows I drink.
Same.
I don't like my parents seeing me drunk. That's probably the only time my mom has seen me drunk. At 16, that's crazy.
All right. You got it out of the way young. That's funny.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how like our parents told us to not do certain things because maybe they have their own little secrets or whatever.
It's like,
They definitely, I know for a fact they did their own shit whenever they were young.
yeah.
So maybe it's just them trying to pass on the wisdom.
But see, if they would be a little bit more open, so that's where kind of going back to like the point where I'm like, I think I might be a little bit open with my kids if I ever have kids, because it's like, I'll be like, your Tío Pelón, he was out there, he just had a few, and
He ended up in the back of a CRV, blacked the fuck out.
I want my kids to be able to come to me. Damn you.
But yeah, so things like that happen. So like, but then again, I do understand the point where like, people learn from their own experiences,
For sure.
and so I feel like
Would
sometimes
y'all have that
Timeout.
trust or whatever to open up to your parents if y'all did something?
say that again, sorry.
Like, would y'all have that that confianza to go to your parents about like maybe a problem that y'all have or something like that?
Christian left, he'll be back, but honestly, dude,
Or would you be like,
if I were to get a girl pregnant, I think I would just like go in, just tell them straight up. It'd probably take me a while, but not with everything though. Like I don't feel like, because first of all, like my parents, from the age of 6, I was raised Christian, so my parents have the understanding that I should know better, and what knowing better isn't always what we do. So it's like I feel like I would probably get that talk, like you know better. You should have been.
And there's honestly no point of getting that talk because things are already done.
But it's kind of crazy too because our parents don't talk to us about sex.
Yeah.
So I mean I don't know about you, but like in general, So it's like how do I know? But I guess
it's funny how I asked a broad question and you went straight to pregnancy.
I mean, because I think if you get a girl pregnant, that you have to be like
Diesel.
like straight up. I don't know. Like I mean, if I tell my parents I crashed, like depending on the situation, like I don't think that's a big deal. If I get arrested, I probably wouldn't call them. I'll call my lawyer first.
1-800 Ramirez.
Yeah, pop it up.
Yeah. The question was, do you have like are you open to going to your parents whenever like you have an issue or have a problem? Like, do you have that relationship where you could go
like,
to them?
Kind of going back to like whenever, like earlier we were talking about like whenever you're little, you're even through the little shit, like don't act like a girl and stuff. You're taught to internalize it. Like that's still something that sticks with you. So like anytime like I have an actual issue, like I don't necessarily talk to my parents about it. It's something that I just try to work out on my own. But like if I ever need like help actually doing something, I might. I don't know. But in terms of working through something, I usually just try to do that on my own.
I would want my kids to trust me and be open with me and know that they could come to me if they're ever in any sort of trouble.
But do you trust your parents? And I guess it's for the both of y'all for you to be able to go do that.
I trust my dad enough, but it's like you get to a certain situation, like to our age, where it's like, not to sound fucked up, but like they've given you all the wisdom that they can. Like you're kind of in uncharted territory for what their life was. Like parents, like they had jobs, but like do they have like a career or like trying to navigate like day-to-day politics? Like, obviously
at
like
this point it's up to us.
Yeah, at this point, like that's what I'm saying, like you're kind of like in uncharted territory. Was like they might be able to give you common sense advice, but they might not be able to give you like something particular that they can draw from.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think it's situational. In some situations, I feel like I would, but in most cases, I try to work things out on my own.
I asked him. The first thing he went to was getting a girl pregnant.
No,
For what?
No. So like,
whoo, baby.
If I were to get a girl pregnant, I feel like I would have to tell my parents immediately.
Fun fact: shout out to Ugo. If that did ever happen to me, I would just do what my cousin did and just whenever the baby's born, I just show up with him at the house. I'm like, that's your grandkid. Like, don't say nothing. Just show up to the house. Like, this is your grandson. Like, no warning, no nothing.
Can you give the story? I mean, we're off subject now, but
I mean, there's really like I don't know the full story. I just know that he got a girl pregnant, and he was, I guess, too afraid to tell anybody or tell his parents. So he just once his son was born, he just showed up at home in the baby carrier, or like the little whatever you carry the baby in, whatever it's called. And his mom was like, "Why do you have a baby? Whose baby is that?" And he was like, "It's mine. That's your grandson. This is his name." And that's it.
That's crazy.
Like he didn't give anybody a warning or anything.
yeah, my parents would kill me off of that.
Have you got somebody pregnant?
Yeah, but I think I would.
But at this age, like maybe if you were like 18, like if you were like a teenager,
the whole,
like at this age.
But the whole thing is like I'm a Christian.
I guess.
So it's like I'm not to say my parents are religious, but they expect me to live, and not that I'm worried about getting anyone pregnant because I'm waiting for marriage. Well, now I am.
Same.
Yeah.
We all are, huh?
Yes.
You ready for marriage too?
I have a purity ring on. You just can't see it.
Yes, but
No,
I think that's I think that's my biggest fear. Like
in life is getting somebody pregnant.
no, like
No,
I mean,
it's like because I think that was all of ours for a while.
no, like going up to my parents, like, hey, you're gonna become grandparents, because it's like it's a life changer. Like you can get in a car accident, it's not a big deal.
Well, it depends on the car accident, buddy. I don't think you can just throw that blanket statement out there. I mean, if you get an offender bender, yeah, but if you get fucked up, that's tough.
But that's on you now. Like that's your decision.
You gotta figure it out, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know how y'all got on the topic of having babies, but that shit scares me.
Yeah, we went completely off topic.
Yeah.
No, it's because Leo asked me, do I have like?
I guess y'all were talking about sharing stuff with your parents, which I don't. I keep my private life private for my parents. I don't really share.
But your parents are part of your private life, though.
Not
I
necessarily.
don't be talking to my parents.
I don't talk to, like, if I'm dating somebody, I don't say like, oh mom, like I don't introduce them to like people that I'm dating. Like I honestly don't care for their approval. It's like y'all aren't the ones that are gonna marry this person the day I get married. Y'all aren't the ones that are gonna live with them. Like the day I make that choice, like I don't give a fuck if y'all like them or not. Like this is my choice.
But so I think that's something we could talk about right quick. Like, does your not that your parents should have the last word, but
absolutely not.
But
absolutely not in no circumstance.
But does their opinion still matter? Like for example,
does it carry weight?
Yeah. So for example, with me, it's like I tell my mom, like, if you don't like the girl, then just tell me why. Because maybe it's things that I don't see myself yet, or maybe it could save me from, like, because I know my mom, she's, she tells me things about certain girls, and I'm like,
opinionated.
And I'm like, oh wow, like I never saw it that way. And then sometimes she might be a little bit old school too, and I'm like, all right, mom, like, I don't agree with you.
That's kind of it, like putting into their perspective, like of their worldview. Because I mean, at this point, you probably know your parents very, very well, so it's like this is the way that they're looking at it. So I guess before I introduce them, not to know, like, it's not like I'm gonna know exactly what they think, but I'm like, this is probably what they're gonna think about this person or this person. They're not gonna like this person for this reason, or they're really gonna like this person because he or she, if I bring one of my friends around, like Orlando, like he's really traditional, he's religious, like that's a good friend. Versus somebody who's like, he just likes to drink, don't fucking hang out with him. Just like, look, like it's my life. I'm gonna make my choices.
I think all of your parents like me for that reason.
Except for Belon's.
Belon's parent.
Because they know the real Orlando.
No, because Belon has light all over my name, like covering his own little tracks.
That is true. But
hey, Belon, if you're watching,
fuck you.
No, I mean, I'll take into consideration like whatever like opinions they give me, but again, like at this, like the times when they were dating completely different. The times whenever they were coming up making their life choices very different. Like
but I think they're still valid because at the end of the day, like a man and a woman, like that relationship will never change. Like,
but the dynamic is different though. Like it's not. I don't think it's necessarily the same. Like the basics are the same. Like they'll give you. I'll take my parents' common sense advice, but like if they get like specific, I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm good.
I'll always take a good I'll take advice. Like I'll listen to advice, but I won't always listen. Like that didn't make sense.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like I'll try to take common sense advice from my parents, but like if I really need like specific advice, like I would probably reach out to y'all. Or like to some like one of my friends.
Like I'll always be open to listening to advice, but I won't always go with that. Like, well, and my parents' opinion used to be more important to me. Like this house, main reason I bought it was because of my mom. But like now it's like I'll listen, but I'm gonna make my own.
And the reason why I brought it up is because I was dating a girl in part of my life or whatever, and basically after I the things ended with the girl, my mom, she spilled out her truth, and I'm like, Mom, if you would have told me from the very beginning, like I could have avoided all this bull crap. Well, it's a different situation.
Well, but I think that's different because you still gotta make your own mistakes.
Yeah,
and you learn from that, you know.
But then I don't know. I always go back to like a wise man learns from a fool's mistake. A fool mistakes learns from their own. So I don't know. But I guess I do see that.
Yeah, I would rather take advice from somebody who, like, I know has good judgment, and then who's probably been in a similar situation or can at least relate to my situation.
I like to think I date pretty level-headed
people.
Girls. I don't know.
I mean, not just in dating though, just like life in general, life advice, career advice.
Yeah.
You know, finance advice, whatever you're thinking of.
That's my finance guy. This is my religion guy. And this is my law guy.
And that is my practical advice, most level-headed shoulder, head on his shoulders guy.
Hey, but on the cool, like my dad's like, I think my dad's biggest strong suit that I've never really like picked up on. Well, actually, too, patience. Like my dad is super patient. Like,
no,
I've told I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I'm like, Dad, like, if I would have been you, I would have been divorced my mom like several years ago.
Damn.
I love you,
but
Mom.
That's love, bro.
No, but I'm saying, but patience plays a huge key, you know.
It's crazy.
And then the other thing is like my dad, like, and I'll probably just wrap up my whole section of like growing up as an immigrant child or whatever, or my parents being immigrants. It's like my dad went from not having anything in life to like where he now has like a stable job. He's been working there for 30 plus years. And then I don't know if that's stable or not, or maybe he just felt comfortable. Maybe that's another subject that we can talk about later. But like he has his own house. He has 2 rental properties, and then he has another land with 2 trailers on them. So it's like my dad with finances has always been super good. Like even if it's like getting into debt, but he measures himself, and it's like I know people say, hey, don't try to grow your wealth with debt, but my dad's been able to do it.
I mean, if you can leverage it, you'll be all right.
Yeah, so that's something. I think those are the 2 things I wish I would have more. I do have a lot of patience. I don't think y'all have seen me mad.
No,
I've seen you, quote unquote,
frustrated.
Tired, which tired in Orlando's book translates to frustrated for some strange. Frustrated or hyper. It's a combination of both when he's tired, which makes no goddamn sense, but whatever.
Well, tired, yeah, because I think I've overcommitted like in my life. Like I haven't learned how to say no.
Yeah. Oh, buddy.
And then like whenever I'm tired,
I'm honest.
oh yeah,
I can't relate.
yeah, we know. Please subscribe.
Subscribe for the full story.
No, but then it's like I do get like little things tick me off, but I can live without them. And then I do get like whenever I'm tired, I get like super hyper. Or like today at the beginning of the podcast, we could not start. Like I was just so like, what the heck? Or so yeah.
First of all, you drank 2 coffees, bro.
That's probably you know.
Caffeine might have something to do with it.
No, but yeah, I wish as far as finances, because on the cool, like I think out of all of y'all, I was the first one working. And
no, like working. What do you mean?
Well, working like in a career job, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Not saying that I'm a big baller or anything, but I could have probably had a lot of things that, you know, that I don't have now, but it's because of my bad financial decisions. Yeah. So make sure to subscribe if you want to hear that story in a future podcast.
Flights every weekend.
I think the one thing that's like universal, like amongst like people who are children of immigrants, it's kind of like high expectations, your parents, for whatever reason, have a tendency to push their insecurities on you. I don't know if that's parenting in general, or if that's specific to people who come from foreign countries. And I think those are the biggest two.
But is there anything like from your parents you wish you had? Because I think as of right now we've always just talked about
the negative.
Honestly,
there's negative, but like
the positive.
Oh wait, let me finish with my mom. Like, because I do love my mom, and I do get mad at her a lot because she just wants to help people all the time, and I'm just like, Mom, why are you letting another person throw a party at our house? I'm like, Mom, why do we have to do this? Because now I have to clean. Now we have.
She's selfless.
Yeah, so my mom, she's really caring, loving, compassionate, and I sometimes, well, majority of the time, I don't have that. Like, I wouldn't let someone just throw a party here just because, like, maybe the person lives in an apartment or maybe they live in a situation where they can't throw a party comfortably. Yeah. Or, like, my mom, she's throwing baby showers, and I'm like, Mom, I'm just tired of so many parties. And my dad just stays there like, hey, just let her, you know how she is. But shout out to my mom, to my dad. Love y'all. Since y'all don't understand, los quiero mucho.
The question was, what do I appreciate about my parents, I guess?
A quality that they have that you wish you had.
So kind of going back to you, kind of, I'm admittedly probably a very selfish person in a lot of respects. Like, I prioritize my life and myself over somebody else. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to help somebody, depending on who the person is. Like, if we're not that close, like, get it how you live. Like, I'm gonna prioritize myself and my priorities and my goals over anything. So, kind of similar to your mom. Like, my mom's always like, she wants to help people. She wants to be selfless in a way. So, definitely, I mean, that would probably help in a lot of respects. And then from my dad, I think we're pretty similar, honestly, in a lot of ways.
Hey, your dad's a cook though. You know how to cook?
Oh, I wish I can cook some dry ass chicken or something. I can meal prep for myself. Can I cook like a 5-course meal like my pops? Absolutely not. So probably that's an intangible goal or an intangible thing that I would like, is just being able to fucking cook and throw down in the kitchen like my dad can. But he's a terrible teacher. I've tried. Like, no, you're doing it wrong. I can't do shit with my dad. It's just like we're too. Yeah, we can't even. I tried helping him hang the Christmas lights, and he was at the top of the ladder. We were just fucking yelling at each other, and I was like, "Dude, if you talk to me stupid one more time, I'm gonna kick this fucking ladder. Your ass gonna fall." So
I'm sure you said that too out loud, huh?
Huh?
You said it.
Oh, I talk shit to him. I don't care. How do you feel? Talk to me. You talk shit, I'll talk shit back. But it's all love.
Hey, but this moment was supposed to be something positive.
I know, right?
I think that is positive though. Like, I can talk to my dad. Like, I don't feel like...
No, but that is cool. Like,
I don't feel like I have to idolize him.
There's no filter.
Like, yeah, I don't feel like I have to idolize him. Like, when I was a kid, like, I definitely did. But, like, as an adult, it's just, like, you're a human being, I'm a human being. Like, we have different experiences, but, like, we can still rely on each other. Like, he won't necessarily ask me for advice, but in certain ways, he might sometimes ask me for, like, support or help in different ways. So, that's always good, like, to know that, like, he knows that he can reach out to me if he needs anything. Yeah. So that's always a big positive. And same thing with my mom. So we have a good relationship. Just you learn from what you want to take away from them and what you feel like they did a really good job at, and the things that you don't think they did such a great job at. It's just like, I'm not mad at you, like, it's life circumstances, but that's something that I feel like I could improve on in myself and future relationships and future situations.
That's awesome.
Yeah. One of the things my dad always tried to teach us, which is the main thing I'm thankful for, is to be humble. To always help someone in need, not be selfish, which I think I'm pretty good about that. And then my mom, I don't know, she's a good woman, I guess. I don't know, she's a real hard worker. So her work ethic, she always found a way.
But I feel like you got that though. I feel like you got that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess those are the biggest lessons
Yeah.
that they've given me. I mean, she always made things happen. I mean, from high school to where she's at now, that's dope to see.
Well, like, your mom's like a well, I've had a chance to speak to them. It's like she seems like a strong, confident woman of character, and
Her confidence.
yeah.
Yeah, you definitely get that.
You have confidence, or
I don't know.
I feel like you have like silent confidence. Like
Yeah.
you're not like overtly like trying to, insert yourself in every situation, but like you're just chilling in the room. You're just like, I know who I am. Like I'm cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the vibe that you
I
get
don't
from
like
Leo.
to be the
Center of attention.
yeah, but I know
Lies.
what I bring to the table.
I don't think he does. I don't.
I don't.
think
no,
he does.
I'm just.
I know somebody who does love to be the center of attention. I'm not gonna say any names, but he
sitting
happens
here.
to be sitting to the right of me.
But yeah,
Not really. But, hey,
Whether or not he
no, but-
acknowledges it, I think whether or not you consciously do it, it always ends up happening.
yeah. I mean,
He just has that Salvadorian Honduran charm, baby girl.
no, but it's on the cool. Like, if I think I would describe myself as an introvert, someone that just likes to stay away from the center of attention. But
Same.
whenever it's my time to shine, I'll make sure to be there, and I don't do it on
let it be
purpose.
known.
But it just happens. Like, I'm just genuinely like I guess I'm thankful I can talk to anybody. Like, I'm not scared to talk to, unless she's a really cute girl and I kind of have like instant crush and fall in love. Then I have no words,
Yeah.
But other than that, like I feel like why be afraid of talking to people and I don't know.
This is probably gonna help like our
Conversational skills.
yeah.
I'm good in one-on-ones. Like I'm good in like
Oh,
small.
I hate public speaking, dude.
Dude, that's my one phobia. Like I don't have any
Me too.
phobias except for public speaking.
Hey, on the cool, we started this podcast kind of rough, but I feel like we're kind of like today. I mean, because it's kind of it's a hard subject, But I feel like we kind of managed to. I love that we were open about it too. Like after a few sentences, we're like, man, this
Fucking tough. I feel like we scratched the surface. I don't think we got into too much.
Yeah, we
too much,
did.
but I mean,
no, but
it's
I
a
mean,
good starting point.
We have a whole life ahead of us,
For sure.
This podcast, again, please subscribe. It really helps out.
Damn, don't beg for it either, bro.
Just put a fucking banner at the bottom, just that goes across. Like and subscribe.
Make sure you give us a like. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm.
This guy.
Are we even fucking interested?
This is probably gonna be up like 4 weeks after it's recorded.
Hey, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We are canceled. Hey, why be afraid?
already canceled.
Already canceled.
We are.
Our social medias, we are canceled.
Yeah. Links
But-
right here.
Links are
right
gonna be
here.
somewhere in the bio.
Orlando,
here.
figure it out.
Orlando's the engineer. It's up to him. So,
Make sure they're here.
I'm the engineer without the degree.
and then I'm the engineer with a degree that isn't an engineer.
Hey, but he's an astronaut.
Yep.
Is there? All right. Is there any closing comments or anything y'all want to talk about before?
Give us feedback.
For sure.
Hey, on the call, I'm really hungry. Like, y'all wanna go somewhere or
I'm down.
I could eat.
Hey, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, this is off subject, but it's like I'm kind of enjoying this.
Yeah.
This basically it started as a joke. And it's turning into a men's support group. Like it started as like we're gonna fuck around, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna talk about random shit, and then like first pilot episode we talk about real shit. Second episode we talk about real shit. It's like this is a therapy session.
That's probably our niche, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, but on the cool, we had this idea, or I mean, it probably was talked about like maybe 4 to 5 months ago, or maybe like we've always
No action.
No, actually.
But you know what?
Everybody just replied down.
Down, but I think it was a lot to like. I don't know. I've worked with audio with videos like for the longest, but it was like just me. Like we heavily invested, so I think that took a while too to kind of just get the whole room.
Well, we
set up.
invested, so now we actually gotta do this shit.
So make sure to like and subscribe. No,
We
but,
gotta make back this investment.
Hey, you like the t-shirt I'm wearing? Make sure to go to Reebok.com.
Sponsored by tequila, no name brand. We just drink tequila.
Scott Tots.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Michael Scott.
Shout out to the office.
No, but I'm having fun with these.
That's pretty fun.
pretty
It's cool.
cool.
It's good conversations to have that we don't normally have because usually
Yeah.
we're in our group
Shooting
chat.
shit.
We're just bullshitting, shooting the shit. Whenever we see each other, we're just under the
Drinking,
influence, trying to
partying.
have fun, trying to have a good time. Not really talking about
Yeah,
things
like
that are
this is
serious.
stuff we've never ever talked about.
Yeah.
for the most part.
Like in as I think in a group setting, like maybe one-on-ones, but
And we've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
friends for a long time.
Yeah.
hey, but this is a new season, a new chapter in our lives. I think I've learned a lot during the last year about myself, so
We'll see where it goes.
I think I'm gonna be really open. And if we don't get no subscribers, then F it, you know, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
As long as Leo keeps on supporting us. our biggest sponsor, shout out to Leo.
Charging rent.
Shout out to Leo, sponsored by.
Every single episode is sponsored by Bottom. Throw up the website.
Yeah.
But all right, well, make sure to like and subscribe.
Deuce.
Yeah.
I'm
Suggestions are welcome. Topics that you guys want us to talk about are welcome. And then if not, we're just gonna pick something random and just go on a tangent about it next time, and we'll give our insight and our input.
You know, don't forget, I'm your. I guess I'm the host, but I'm your host, Orlando, aka Lil Lando, aka
Orlando,
aka Oscar, aka whatever you want to call me. Make sure to follow me on Osaravia on Instagram, Twitter. I'm dry.
Personals.
Yeah,
Leo's like, follow me.
Right?
But I'm here with my boy Christian. Any final remarks?
Not really. It's just good conversation. Something that we haven't had before.
Hey, and
Cool. Yeah, if y'all find it interesting, cool. If not, fuck y'all. Go find something else. Goddamn.
Hey, we're Spotify. If you're watching us, you know we're ready for the contract. And then I'm here with Leo. Any final remarks?
No, just feedback. Give us feedback.
I'm gonna cry myself to sleep tonight. That's my closing remark.
I gotta go to work.
I got
tomorrow.
issues.
Yeah. All right, guys. Till next time.